What's up everyone, it's Tyler from House of Cards TCG, and today I'm bringing you another deck profile. This time I was given the task of trying to make Evil Eye as competitive as possible. So when I started diving into this deck, I realized that the new support from Photon Hypernova really made this deck insane. It created this towers of a Link 2 that's almost impossible to beat over. You pretty much have to have Underworld Goddess or a Kaiju to get this thing, right? So I took the Evil Eye engine and I thought, what deck could pair well with this Evil Eye engine to actually make it really competitive in the scene? And with that, I found Labrynth. So when I paired Labrynth together with Evil Eye, I found that the two both go hand in hand. One, the entire deck is Fiends, so that has no restrictions when it comes to only being able to summon Fiends, as well as plussing off of searchable normal traps. So the Evil Eye Defeat actually is a normal trap, and when you activate that, you're going to get pluses off of your Labrynth cards. Because one, it bounces cards on your opponent's field, so there's a monster leaving the field because of a normal trap card, and two, being a normal trap card obviously pairs with the Labrynth engine. So I took the two, I created what I believe is the most competitive profile for Evil Eye, and I hope you enjoy it. At the end I do a small combo showing you how insane the towers can be, and do me a favor, just one favor. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. We're so close. We're at 2,400, trying to get to 3,000 as fast as possible. So I appreciate it if you guys take 2 seconds, subscribe to the channel. And without further ado, I bring you Evil Eye Labrynth. Starting off with the Evil Eye engine first, we're going to go ahead and play 3 of the best normal summon in this deck, which is Surzeal. What Surzeal does is when it's normal summon, you get to add an Evil Eye card from your deck to your hand. A lot of times, what you're going to be searching is Evil Eye Unleashed with this, or you can search another one of your traps, or you can actually go ahead and grab a Gorgonio to set up this huge, insane towers that your opponent has to get over. I'm going to play 2 of the new card from Photon Hypernova, which is Basiltrice. Basiltrice is going to be used as discard fodder, or it can be sent as cost off of Evil Eye Unleashed, and it allows you to special summon back from the graveyard. This plus normal summoning Surzeal is how you get into your Link 2. And then for further extenders, I played 2 of these cards. This one is a special summon from the hand as long as you control an Evil Eye monster. And then what it can do is it sends another copy of Evil Eye Unleashed to the graveyard, allowing for further Link plays. And you can still equip that same Selene from the graveyard to your Link 2 because you're Link summoning. So this just allows you to send another Evil Eye Unleashed. We can go over that combo later. And then this card is just another special summon. If you were to already open Basiltrice in your hand, you can go ahead and search this guy. And then you can use that as discard fodder to special summon back from the graveyard, again allowing you to further extend. For the Evil Eye spells and traps, we're going to play 3 of the field spell, Evil Eye Domain. This card has a multitude of effects. The first one being, when you activate it, you get to add an Evil Eye monster from your deck to your hand. A lot of times, what you're going to do is grab Surzeal. So this is how you have 6 copies of Surzeal, 3 in the deck, as well as 3 ways to search it through the field spell. And then if you were to take any battle damage, you can also inflict that to your opponent. And then this card also has another effect. If it's destroyed by card effects, you get to add an Evil Eye monster from your graveyard back to your hand. Of course, we play Terraforming, given that 7 copies of Surzeal that you're able to find in this deck. And then another new card from Photon Hypernova is the Evil Eye Unleashed. Now, why this card is so broken is for cost. So when you activate this card for cost, you're going to send an Evil Eye monster plus a spell or trap from your deck to the graveyard for cost. And then when it resolves, you get to add yourself an Evil Eye Equip spell. A lot of times what you're going to do is you're going to add Evil Eye Selene with this card, but this card is huge and it's imperative that you get to this card in this deck. Now, that has another effect that when you Link summon, you get to banish this card from the graveyard and equip a Evil Eye Equip spell from your graveyard to your new Link monster. A lot of times what you're going to do is you're going to equip Selene with this effect, or you can equip the Gorgonio with this effect, and every time you Link summon. And on your opponent's turn, if you leave Basiltrice, which is the card right here from Photon Hypernova, if you have Basiltrice on the field, it can also Link summon on your opponent's turn. And again, that's why the Basil is important to send an extra copy, because then you can also go ahead. Let's say that your opponent were to out your Selene in your Gorgonio. They say the Harpy Feather Duster or something like that. If you leave this card on the field, this card can Link summon on your opponent's turn, making another Link 2, which if you had this card out, special summon, and you sent another copy of Evil Eye Unleashed, which is this card, you can then re-equip that Selene that was already just destroyed by your opponent's card effects. So that's a little in testing. I found that came up once, so I just wanted to mention it. For the equip spells, we play 3 Gorgonio. So Gorgonio is absolutely insane, especially when paired with Selene. But what this card does is when it's in the graveyard, because again, a lot of times you're sending this card for the cost of Evil Eye Unleashed. So when this card is in the graveyard, it allows you to go ahead and banish this card. You discard an Evil Eye card from your hand, which a lot of time is your Selene that you searched off Unleashed. And then you get to go ahead and search out one of your Evil Eye traps. Now we play 3 different traps in this deck because they all pair well with the Labrynth cards, but this card is absolutely crucial in the combo. As well as if you have this in your hand, so have one in the grave and you're able to search an extra one or open up a Gorgonio, this is not a brick. So when you equip this to a monster, it allows you to gain the difference in your opponent's life points and your life points as attack to that monster. I'll explain what that means once we get into the combo and also when we talk about Selene. So what Selene does is when it's equipped to a monster, it allows you to go ahead and every time an Evil Eye spell or trap is activated or the monster that this is equipped to activates its effect, which by the way, the Link 2 does have a monster negation effect, you're gonna pay 500 life points and that monster is gonna gain 500 attack points. As well, this card makes it so that your monster cannot be destroyed by card effects, cannot be destroyed by battle, it cannot be targeted at all. So it makes you have this insane towers, but then also every time that that Evil Eye monster activates its effect or you activate a Evil Eye spell or trap, you're gonna lose 500 life points. That monster is gonna gain 500 attack points. Now, when these two are paired together, Gorgonio and Selene, what happens is this card will activate paying 500 life points, and then that monster gains 500 attack points. This card says that you're gonna gain the difference in your opponent's life points versus yours. So every time this pays 500 life points, this allows your monster that it's equipped to also gain an additional 500 attack points every time this card is activated. So every time you activate that monster's effect, or you activate an Evil Eye spell or trap, both these cards are gonna allow that monster to basically gain 1,000 attack points. Now, how do you go ahead and do that? Well, when you activate this card, you're gonna do that after it's already equipped to Selene. So it's instantly gaining 1,000 attack points. And then we play 3 different traps in this deck: Mesmerism, Defeat, and Retribution. I will say that this is the best Evil Eye card. That's Retribution probably second, Mesmerism's third. But you're gonna activate these cards on your opponent's turn, which is then gonna allow your towers to gain 1,000 attack points when both Evil Eye Selene and Gorgonio are equipped to it. So Defeat, what that card does is it's a bounce, but if you have Selene equipped to a monster, it allows you to bounce 2 monsters that your opponent controls. It can be either side of the field, but you're most likely gonna bounce 2 monsters your opponent controls. So this is huge because this is a double bounce as well as triggers your Selene to have that monster gain 500 attack points, which if you have Gorgonio, it's an additional 500 attack points as well. Mesmerism is basically a snatch steal as long as that monster has less attack points than the Link monster that you have equipped with Selene. And then Retribution is a spell or trap negate. I also really like playing it because it's a counter trap. So being a counter trap, your opponent can't really respond to it unless they have cards like Judgment, etc. So this card, absolutely insane. I like playing all 3 because I like to open one as well as being able to search an additional one, giving me 2 Evil Eye cards to activate. So that is the Evil Eye engine. We will go into a combo to show you why it pairs well with the Labrynth cards, but getting into the Labrynth cards, we're gonna play 3 Welcome Labrynth. Obviously, this is a special summon of a Labrynth monster, and then this has an effect in the graveyard. When a monster leaves the field by one of your normal trap cards, which aka, if you don't know, Defeat is a normal trap card. So when a monster leaves the field by a normal trap card, you can reset this. Then you have Big Welcome Labrynth. Big Welcome Labrynth is a special summon, then you have to bounce a card back. If you leave cards like Basil Trees or Cerzio on the field, they have effects on the field, obviously. You can go ahead and bounce those cards back to hand. It doesn't have to be a Labrynth card. And then what this card does is it has effect where it can banish and bounce as well. Then you're just gonna play one of, because obviously we're gonna try to special summon them out with the Labrynth cards. And a lot of times your Evil Eye stuff will also be Ashes, which allows your Labrynth cards to actually go through. So I think everybody's pretty familiar with the Labrynth cards now. Ariana is how you get to your traps, or you can search out one of your monsters as well. And then these cards have different effects, allowing them not to be your traps not to be destroyed by card effects. Also, you can't special summon fiends, which isn't a problem because the whole deck is fiends. And also, you know, every time you activate a normal trap, you get to reset a card. As well, this card allows you to set some of your other traps when a normal trap card is activated, which is searchable in this deck, which is Evil Eye Defeat, is a normal trap card. This allows you to go ahead and further grab into more normal traps in your engine that you're allowed to set. And then the lovely Labrynth obviously has an effect where it can reset cards like your Evil Eye Defeat, so you can allow for more bounces on your turn when you go ahead and start playing. So those cards in tandem with the towers obviously let you just keep resetting some of your Evil Eye cards, which is really imperative in this deck. I do play Prosperity in this deck because I want to dig into more cards. Being able to dig 6 cards deep is obviously pretty huge. You could play Extravagance in the deck. That's not a problem at all if you are on a more of a budget. But Prosperity, I think, is really good because the extra deck is very free. You can just go ahead and banish 6 cards, search 6 cards, get the piece that you need. It's really good in this deck. And then these are all flex spots. You can play whatever you want, but I chose to play the Dimensional Barrier. Dimensional Barrier is a really good card, especially when you want to, it's almost like better than a skill drain because it doesn't affect your monsters. So Dimensional Barrier is really good because you can chain that in response to a card's effect. Like, for example, Dragoon is getting popular. If they were to activate Dragoon's effect to negate, you could flip Dimensional Barrier, call Fusion, and it negates it. So then the negation that the Dragoon did doesn't go through. So I think Dimensional Barrier is really good at 3. It's really important, especially in a trap deck. And then these are just random cards that you can play. You can mix these up and play whatever you want. Ice Dragon's Prison, Terrors of the Overroot, Waybridge, and Imperm are just all normal traps that you can play in this deck that are actually really good in the deck. So those are all just obviously flex spots that you can play. These are the ones that I like to play because you can set different cards off of the engine. Going into the extra deck, we're going to play 3 Gorgon. Pretty much the extra deck's really free. You just want to make sure you have the Evil Eye monsters. This is your Link 2 Towers though. This card has an effect that you can target a monster in your opponent's field and negate the effect. So it's obviously a monster negate, as well as when it's equipped with Selene and Gorgonio, it becomes that insane towers that we were talking about. You could cut this to 2, but I play 3 Sergio. You just want to max out on the Evil Eye cards because, again, the extra deck's just really free. So you can play 3 Sergio. This is kind of a boss monster, but it hardly ever even comes out. So some random rank 3s, Kikata King, Bamboozling Gossip Shadow, and then Darius. You can play Darius as well as going into the Divine Machinex, which is the DDD monster. I'm probably going to go ahead and put it right here. I forgot to order it. It's my fault, but we're going to put that card right there. So this is free in the extra deck. The Machinex obviously is what you can go into to do another Snatch Steal on your opponent's turn. Darius allows you to overlay into the Machinex, so that any of these rank 3s are basically just going to allow you, if you go into the further extension. I personally am not a big fan of that because of Lava Golem. I like to just set up the towers and pass with traps. Now, obviously, sometimes you're going to have your Labrynth cards, but with Big Welcome, you can bounce those back to hand. So ideally, I like to use my traps and use the Labrynth cards for OTK purposes, but I like to just leave the towers on the field for right now, is typically how I'd like to end. I did put the Nightmare package in here. I like the Nightmare package because they're fiends. And so even though if you're locked into only being able to special summon fiends, these are all fiends, so you can special summon them. And it's easy to get bodies out on the field and be able to link climb and take care of some of your opponent's back row or some other cards like that. Underworld Goddess, if there's a towers that you need to get over, you can easily put the monsters on the board and then go ahead and link climb into that. And then you can just basically link off that opponent's towers. Another card that I play is Mukraken of the Underworld or something like that. I forget exactly the name of this card. Again, another card that I forgot to order, but that card is insane because it allows you to special summon a fiend from your graveyard. And if you didn't realize, all your Labrynth cards are fiends and your Evil Eye cards are fiends. So that card is absolutely broken in this deck because it allows you to go ahead and special summon any one of your engine pieces back on the field. The only thing is that Sergio only gets its effect when it's normal summoned, but being allowed to go back into more Evil Eye cards, but going into your Link 2 because it only requires 1 Evil Eye monster, really good. And of course, you're going to play Zeus because you play a rank 3 package, so Zeus is obviously really good. Now going into the side deck, I would play 1 Evil Eye Confrontation. This is a Speller Trap removal, and it's searchable, so it's basically a searchable MST in this deck. You can definitely side that. And the side deck's obviously really free. I felt like Gozen was really good when you go first. You can flip Gozen, or if you think that Rivalry is a better option, you go with Rivalry. So both these cards are really good. Being able to flip Gozen and lock your opponent out, especially if you're playing Kashtira, or being able to flip Rivalry on a rogue deck that maybe has multiple interactions. Again, really good. Solemn Judgment is obviously going to be a really good card. Even though you have that Speller Trap negation, where they can't be destroyed, it's always good to open up with the Solemn Judgments as well. And then Evenly Matched, obviously going second. Insane card going into any match. So that is the side deck. Now let's dive into a combo portion of this profile. So for the combo, basically what I want to show you is obviously opening up Way to Sergio, and then being able to open up Gorgonio in your hand is absolutely crazy, or being able to search it or some other way, because Gorgonio is going to allow those towers to just pop off, and it's going to be crazy. And we're just going to draw, I'll go ahead and cut. We're just going to go ahead and draw 3 other random cards. So we open up Terrors of the Overroot, Big Welcome Labrynth, and Evil Eye Mesmerism. So this is actually going to be insane. So let's just go ahead and combo this off. So we're going to start by activating the Field Spell. Field Spell is going to allow us to search out an Evil Eye monster. So what we do is we go ahead and grab our Surzeal. Then we're going to go ahead and normal summon out Surzeal. Surzeal effect is going to activate. And then we're going to go ahead and grab ourselves the Evil Eye Unleashed. Now what we do is we activate Evil Eye Unleashed. And then for cost, we go ahead and send our Gorgonio. And we go ahead and send our Basiltrice. Now we can activate Basiltrice to special summon back. And then what we're going to do is finish resolving Unleashed. We have to grab the Celine, my apologies. Because it adds you an Evil Eye equip spell at the end. So definitely want to resolve the Evil Eye Unleashed. You could actually chain Basiltrice too to the Evil Eye Unleashed because it's you just quick effect, activate it. And since it's sent for cost, you can activate it. So now what we do is we activate the Gorgonio in the graveyard. And then we're going to go ahead and pitch our Celine. And then that's going to allow us to add one of our traps. We're going to grab our best trap, which is the Evil Eye Defeat. And then from here, what we want to do is we're going to go ahead and link two. So we're going to take both of these. This gets banished. And we link into our boss monster, which is Gorgon. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trigger the Evil Eye Unleashed that's in the graveyard. And we're going to go ahead and equip the Celine to our Gorgon. Now, every time that we activate an Evil Eye spell or trap, or he activates his effect to negate a monster effect, that's going to go ahead and allow us to lose 500 life points and gain 500 attack points. Now, looking at our hand, we obviously need to decide what's more important. So we have Gorgonio, which is going to allow us to get more of our attack points added. So I do like to adding this and equipping that to our Gorgon. So now this is going to allow us to go ahead and when we activate this, trigger Celine. Celine, now we're at 7,500 life points. And this is going to go ahead and jump up to 2,400 attack points. We do have a Surzeal in the grave, so I think it does gain an extra 100. And then this will actually, because we're down 500, allow it to gain another 500 attack points. So now this is up 1,000 attack points from its original attack. And then what's crazy is since we open up another Evil Eye card like Mesmerism, this is just going to allow us to go ahead and further go ahead and gain more attack points. So we'll set Mesmerism, we'll set Defeat, and then we're probably going to go ahead and set Big Welcome Labrynth. We can leave Terror of the Overroot in our hand. So now what we have when we pass, obviously it doesn't look like much, but you got to keep in mind that this Towers right here is sitting at about 2,900 attack currently. So you got to think here, this card is actually gaining 100 attack because of Surzeal. So that's at 2,000 attack. Plus, we're down 500 life, so this is allowing it to gain another 500, which is at 2,500 attack. Plus, this card has already allowed it to gain another attack. So now we're sitting at 3,000 attack points with this card right now. So it can't be targeted, can't be destroyed by card effects, and it cannot be destroyed by battle. So it's a big Towers at 3,000. Now on our opponent's turn, when we activate Mesmerism to Snatch Steal and Defeat to bounce, these are both going to trigger, or this is going to trigger, which is going to cause this card that every time we activate one of these two cards, this will gain an additional 1,000 attack points. So when both of these cards are activated and used on our opponent's turn, now this card's at 5,000 attack points. We can go ahead and flip the Big Welcome Labrynth. Big Welcome Labrynth can go ahead and bring out one of our cards. If we are looking to OTK, we can obviously bring out two cards here, which is our Lady Labrynth, which is OTK. So you can special summon this card out, and this is already at 5,000, plus this card's at 3, that's an OTK. We have another Terror of the Underroot that we can set, and it's just how you're gonna go ahead and just power over your opponent. This is quick OTK with trap cards, with everything else. So the Evil Eye and the Labrynth engine mix very well together, and yeah, it's been a fun deck to test with and to play with. And there's obviously a ton more interactions that you can do. You can check out my combo video where I went over Evil Eye Labrynth combos. Maybe not so much with the Labrynth cards, but if you test this, you'll find out how the interactions work. But if there's anything else you guys want, comment down below. I can do another video with putting these two decks together and doing further combos. But I hope you enjoyed this deck profile with a short combo tutorial. Just do us a favor, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.